Hi there, it's Hilton from Can't to Can again. And today I'm doing a preview, or a little bit of a talk about an interview that I've just done with John Broadbent. John has written a book called Man Unplugged, and it's a very, very good book. I know you'll probably hear me talking about the book in the videos, but it is a very good book about men's issues. It's incredibly clearly written. And I don't think he realises just what a good author he is, actually, but I really celebrate the fact that I had an opportunity to read the book and to talk to him. This particular video is John's take, and it's a very interesting take, on why it's so important for men to understand the father wound. Now, like some guys won't really agree or even feel comfortable with the idea of a father wound. It's a very interesting issue, though, for all men. The father-son dynamic is something that's played out through the ages. And for anybody that has anything to do with men's work, it's a very important area of development. Most sons have got issues with their fathers. So this is an offer to have John's take on it. His words of wisdom I found incredibly beneficial. I hope you get as much out of it as I have. Thank you. So in this we are also discussing some of the issues to do with this for men, and John's very kindly spending some time with us to do this today. And we were having a bit of a laugh about this question before, because we know it's true, and I know men will identify with this. The question, John, is, men are programmed to fix things and solve problems. What can they do when it comes to fixing themselves?
My first response to that is fixing implies that we're broken.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem, is that when we get to midlife and we perhaps start to struggle, that we think we're broken and we don't know how to fix. And maybe the way to think of that is to reframe it, that there's nothing actually wrong with what's happening. And I've certainly learnt that midlife transition and the upheaval that tends to happen during that time can go one of two ways. One is that we accept that all the things that we thought we knew up until that time may not be true. And therefore we can embark, as we talked in the previous thing about base camp, and embark on this journey to climb our own mountain and discover more of who we are, and take the time for us to do some deeper level self-assessment. But I also see some men who think it's all crap and bullshit, and I'm just going to continue on my path, and irrespective of what. But what I have seen as a result is that men who then head up down that path end up trying to suppress the very yearning from their deeper selves that's seeking that healing, that expression. Because childhood wounds, the lack of self-worth, the lack of acknowledgement, the father wound, the father who never held us, never hugged us, never told us we were good enough, never told us that we were loved, never told us that he was proud of us. We can try and pretend that has no relevance and no bearing on us as much as we like, but I can assure you, every man I know who actually engages with that realise how bereft we feel when we didn't get that from our dads. And so if our dads aren't here anymore, then we can do that work for ourselves, and we can establish our own sense of self and self-worth and self-value and self-esteem in the world. And men who then deny that opportunity tend to then grow up into grumpy old men.
All right, who don't do anything like that.
Yeah, and John Robinson in Death of a Hero says that they grow up to be the embittered old man. And the number of times I've seen a cranky 70 or 80-year-old man who has no relationship with his children, everybody gives him a wide berth, and he basically lives a lonely old life.
Yeah, bitter old man.
Bitter old man, and it's really, really tragic. And that's simply because at some point in his past, he's been given the opportunity to probably go into a bit of pain and do a bit of healing around what we feel we can heal, do a bit of healing around that for himself, and he's denied himself that opportunity for whatever reason. And so it's not necessarily about fixing, because I don't believe we're broken. I think it's about listening that what is actually seeking to emerge.
I hope you enjoy what we're doing here at Can't to Can. And if you'd like to get more videos like this, hit the subscribe button just below this YouTube video, and you'll get more like this.